About a little quick discussion about resolving conflict in your project team. On one of my projects, supporting big federal client, when I worked in corporate consulting, I found myself stuck between, and at least I believed, an overbearing, impatient perfectionist as my senior manager, and one of my younger team members, consultants, fresh off her master's degree program. This was her first full-time professional role. He had very little tolerance for opinions that weren't congruent with his own. He only inserted himself in day-to-day project operations intermittently, so his involvement was a bit unpredictable. He tended to be more vocal than was appropriate. She often simply said what was on her mind due to her, understandable at the time, relative immaturity. Further, she'd been thrust into this role before I felt she was really, truly prepared. And we had some fireworks during a couple of meetings, and I received instruction to fix it. So what did I do? Well, I met with each of them separately, and I took a few steps. I decided it was important to ask questions. And I'd ask these questions because I wanted to clarify their differences and their objections. It was really important that I listen without judgment. I just want to hear their perspective. By meeting with each of them separately and hearing their perspective, this would allow me to share and dispel the assumptions. By hearing both sides, I can find some common ground. I can share that with them. And it gives all three parties a chance to acknowledge the other's point of view. And finally, I leveraged a third team member who had a gentle and patient manner to mentor my youngest consultant directly and kind of run some interference to help her in her professional development. So what were some of the results? Well, he, senior manager, he became easier to manage up because we instituted more layers. He gained knowledge and maturity and grew to learn how to, quote, know your audience. The mentor I assigned, he grew in his leadership style and skill through applications on a different subject, or a difficult subject. And we also learned and discovered productive conflict generates new ideas and innovation that we would have missed otherwise. So I took some leadership lessons from that. Specifically, I've come to learn that in most cases, there are two sides to every story, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. But it's important to hear both sides to establish some common ground and coach the warring factions to consider compromise. If we can be humble enough to see it from the other's perspective, we can probably make some progress toward resolution.